It's Pia Boys, say Shakaroni Obama, and John to toilets now, watching all the movies that I miss on Mr. Talking about God. I like you boom boom down. It's Pia Boys, say Shakaroni Obama, and John to toilets now, watching all the movies that I miss on Mr. Talking about God. I like you boom boom down. What's up, Fudge Packers? Welcome to Pure Boys Podcast. I'm Zacharoni Obama, and URINE.
And URINE. I'm URINE, and I'm also Jonathan Toilet, and very excited for this episode because we finally get to review a film.
Yeah, we've watched a lot of movies on this podcast, but we've never watched a film made like this one.
Cinematography. Mwah.
On point.
Directing.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Casting.
Editing.
Mwah.
Mwah. Oh, the casting.
Depictions.
The acting.
Oh, and there's some real heavy hitters in this movie.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to get into it.
Does the name Nick Mancuso mean anything to you?
Not really, actually.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, it means a lot to me, but I get why it wouldn't mean anything to you. Yeah, that's fair.
I should have been saying that to you.
Right. Should we take it again?
No.
Okay. Does the name Jeff Fahey mean anything to you?
Not really.
Yeah, that's fair. It means a lot to me, but I get that it wouldn't mean much to you. I understand. Yeah.
I mean, we did see him in that movie Revelation.
Nope. Well, yes. Yeah, Apocalypse 2 Revelation, because that's what we're talking about this week. The second movie in the Lalonde Brothers Apocalypse Quintology. We're watching Apocalypse 2 Revelation 1999 on the eve of destruction. That's not the full title. It's just the first three words.
That is the full title, and don't believe the people that are podcasting to you. Think for yourselves.
That's right. Do your own research. Think for yourself. Don't listen to what two liberal soy boy right-wing cucklords out in podcast land tell you. We don't know anything.
Don't be a hater.
Hey, ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth in life and in the eventual afterlife, I guess? Don't be a hater.
This movie's so hip. It's really talking about things that are happening now.
It's true.
VR,
yeah.
People in wheelchairs.
Yeah. Blind people falling in love with people in wheelchairs, as it should be.
Well,
the maybe the Antichrist, is that a name that means anything to you?
Well, the president of the UN, or former president of the UN, I guess.
Who's that?
The Messiah.
Is he the No, he was the president of the European Union in the last movie, which I don't know.
Same.
Kind of the same. Yeah, I don't really know what that is, but same, double same.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, before we get too far into talking about Apocalypse 2 Revelation, we've got to do the Pure Boys prayer.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
God bless our podcast. God bless all podcasts. We love you.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, yeah.
Cheers.
Cheer in your beer,
Cheers.
Cheers.
You ever put Skittles in your beer?
Skittlebrow? No, never tried it.
Me either.
It seems wild. Seems like a bad idea. Although I did love Orbits as a kid, so that's kind of like a kid's version of that.
That kind of tracks with your whole oeuvre that you liked Orbits.
Yeah, I mean, now I love bubble tea. I love any drink with little bowls in it.
I love me a bubble tea, but Orbits had this like chemical taste to it that I just couldn't get over. I wanted those bubbles and those balls in me,
I wanted those balls in me.
Well, that's what I said to my parents when the commercial came on.
Sorry, my wife just...
I want those balls in me.
Dad, Mom, I want those balls in me. My wife just texted me. My wife just texted me, did you suck out all the juice first to eat the balls last?
Yeah.
Yes, and babe.
Yes, and how else do you drink Orbit?
Yeah, you suck out the juice and then manger them balls, you know?
It was thick water, right? Like they
Yeah.
thickened that up.
Yeah, that was how they sold it. Thick water full of balls, orbits. You're going to love it.
That would have sold. I think that would have changed history, and we would still have Orbits today.
Like, that's the thing, is that how many, you can't really, revolutionize drinks. I feel like most drinks have been invented. What's the next step?
Yeah.
Thicker drinks. Right now,
Thicker balls.
Fluid is too fluid. We need a bit of a gel it up a little bit. I want to have to suck the juice out of there.
I completely agree. I'm on board for this thickening of all liquids.
Thank you.
Across the nation.
That's what I'm running for as president of Haiti. Move over, Wyclef Jean. We're thickening the water here.
Yeah, I don't want this to leak out internationally, though. I want this to be a Haitian thing.
Here's the thing. You got thick liquid. It's not leaking anywhere. It's staying put.
It's not going anywhere.
It's staying put. You might get a slow leak, but you're going to catch it before it becomes a problem. That's the beauty of thick liquid. Thickwid is what we'll call it.
Thickwid. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Thank you.
I bet you when you heard it back when I said it, it doubled down your confidence in it, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, because you were so supportive of it, it clicked for you right away, and you were like, "Oh, I'm immediately on board with Thickwid. Of course, let's make it. Let's market it. Let's fill it full of balls and shove it in people's mouths."
Let's shut everything down and focus 100% of our energy on Thickwid.
Yeah, okay, all right. Forget about Revelation, Apocalypse 2, Revelation 19. We're not talking about that today. We're talking about the logistics of making a thicker liquid that's going to revolutionize the drink industry.
For Haiti.
For Haiti, of course. We'll make it coconut flavored or mango or whatever. Whatever we love here in Haiti.
We love you, Haiti.
We love you,
we
Haiti.
Want a Thickwid for you.
We want to make thick avocado liquid for you.
Avocado. Maybe avocado lime?
Oh. Yeah. Yum. Yes, and that sounds like a delicious green flavor. I love it.
Thickwid.
I can picture it's like bright, glowing neon green Thickwid.
Yeah, glowing.
Yeah, of course. Tastes like avocado and limes. Yum, yum, yum. Delicious. And celery. Why not? All the green things are in there.
Yeah, it's got to be Thickwid and it's got to taste good.
Is celery green or like crappy white?
I'm going to go with green on this one, Bob.
I don't know. It kind of feels like it's the color of guano. Like just like a greeny white. And you're like, maybe that's why celery sucks.
I'm a celery apologist. I love celery. I think it stands up to any vegetable out there, even lettuce. Get over lettuce. Let's replace lettuce with celery.
No.
All lettuce gone. Thickwid in.
Yes, of course. I'm going to cut this part out that I'm about to say. I call, when I buy a fresh head of celery, I always name it Celery Clinton. And then as I'm preparing it, I always go, chop her up, chop her up.
That's fun, though. I don't think you need to cut that out. That's just good old horseplay.
I'm leaving it in.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
you don't really want to chop her up.
No, God, no. I want to chop up that celery, of course. I'm making tuna salad. You got to have celery for it.
Yeah, you got to have the celery for the tuna salad.
Hey, if you take anything away from this podcast, you got to have the celery for the tuna salad. And also Thickwid coming soon, brought to you by Pure Boys Podcast. Like,
that's what I was going to say, and also Thickwid, because you got to have Thickwid.
Of course. How great would it be if, like, in the Bible, it's like Jesus turned their water into Thickwid, and all of the Pharisees drank from their cups, and it was thicker than they were expecting, and it was very off-putting to them.
Are we going to Haitian wash the Bible?
Yeah, you bet we are. Of course we are. Of course.
Put in a little Thickwid?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Instead of Jesus providing 40 loaves of fish and bread or whatever, he provides mangoes and avocados and limes, and that's everyone's happy. Nobody gets scurvy. Everyone's happy.
thou shalt have Thickwid. Yeah, it solves all scurvy needs.
Get rid of coveting your neighbor. Thou shalt have Thickwid is replacing it on the tablet. And that's what Jesus burst into a burning bush and was like, make Thickwid, Moses.
Yeah. Covet your neighbor all you want. That was kind of a mistake by God.
Yeah. Like, what does that even mean? Is it just like, oh, I love my neighbor? Like, what? Covet them? What? It's okay to love your neighbor. It's fine.
I hate my neighbors.
Well, maybe you should covet them.
Okay.
Yeah, flip it. You only have one neighbor.
Thickwid.
You have one neighbor. You only have neighbors on one side. How hard can it be?
I'm going to give him 1 liter of Thickwid and see what happens.
Just in a jug. Here you go.
Yeah.
Like a 1 liter of Thickwid in a 4-liter jug. So it just sticks to the sides. Yeah, as you tip it, it coats the inside, and then you have to watch it slowly run down on the inside. It's delicious.
These leftover milk containers with 1 liter of Thickwid in it.
Yeah.
Half green.
And like, you can't drink it with a straw. It is impossible to drink with a straw. You can't compress it enough to get it up into a straw. It can only fit into your giant dumb mouth.
Yeah, and you can't pour it out of the jug. It's basically a waste of time.
Yeah, well, of course. What are you going to do? You're going to pour it down the drain or something like that? Like, it's going to clog all the pipes, and then you're going to cause a huge issue in your town.
Plus, you're going to wait all that time to let it pour out, and then you got to pour it into your mouth.
Ugh.
That's double pour time. And this is Thickwid. This isn't your normal liquid.
Is Thickwid carbonized? Is it bubbly? Okay, I think it has to be. I think Thickwid has to be a seltzer type beverage. Like, it's got to be fizzy.
I don't know.
You got to feel fancy when you drink Thickwid, because it's only for the bougiest of the bougie. It's not for poor people to drink. It's for people like you and me, kings.
Is there technology out there to carbonate such a Thickwid? Like, wouldn't the bubbles collapse under all that weight?
That's a good point. That's a lot of external pressure pushing in on those bubbles in there.
We're gonna need to invent like a thicker gas.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Yeah, we're gonna have to put like argon in there or something like that. It's good. Like it'll be a helium infused Thickwid. So the bottle will feel very light when you pick it up, but the drink itself is very dense. When you drink it and the helium dissipates, you feel very bloated and very weighed down after. It's like drinking porridge, essentially. It sits in your stomach and weighs you down the rest of the day.
Well, helium's super strong because of its atomic structure.
Of course. You know, what is its atomic structure? Helium. Done. That's where it is on the chart, on the whatever it's called.
Oh, I love this idea. Could you just, Mark Cuban, if you're listening, if you're our new listener from New York, please invest in this idea.
Please, Marcus Cuban, please. I've talked to the Papa John's people. They're not interested in supporting us, but they are happy that I enjoy my pizza orders. They love us.
But if you get at Papa John's about Thickwid, maybe that changes their mind about things. You know,
that's a great idea, because that's the thing. We don't have the capital to invest in this. Yes, we're two kings, but we don't have the capital to back that up. So if we got an investor like Mark Cuban or perhaps Papa Shack or something like that, then we'd have the money. We could dump into it, do the proper R&D, and get Thickwid off the ground. We've been talking about Thickwid for 10 minutes.
Well, the problem is last time you approached Papa John's, we were just a couple of libtard soy boys that did a podcast about Christian movies.
Yeah.
Now we have Thickwid to bring to the table. Then their ears are perking up.
Like, now we're entrepreneurs. We're not just hosts. We're creatives and we're entrepreneurs. And this is our pitch to you, Papa John's. You could be on the ground floor of Thickwid, put it in all your shops all across the world, and make it a reality for so many people. We're saying it's not for poor people, it's for bougie people. That's why we're trying to sell it to Papa John's, the king of the fast pizzerias.
Yeah. the king of the fast pizzerias.
Exactly.
I'd agree with that wholeheartedly. We already came up with that technology, put helium in it. What else do you need?
We already came up with the technology, put helium in it. How does that make it thicker? Oh, no. It makes it carbonated. How does it make it carbonated? Because the liquid is thicker. You need a stronger gas to get the bubble. That's what helium is. Plus, when you drink it, your voice gets higher. So that's like an added bonus. That's how you know people are on the thickwid. It's like...
Yeah, that's how you connect with thickwidites.
It's the blue eyes, the spice melange. It's thickwid. You get a high voice.
We definitely have to make this give people green eyes.
Yeah, and green skin. It poisons you. It makes you sick. It makes your body break down in ways it's not prepared to.
But it's like leeches on your eyes. It's worth it.
Oh, yeah. Your eyes turn bright green, and then they slowly shrivel up and suck into your head. Like over years. And it's not like a right-away thing. But if you drink thickwid all the time, if you replace all your other beverages with thickwid, then yeah, your eyes are... You sacrifice your eyes for that. But
you're pricked.
Yeah, but it's good. You got a heavy weight in your gut and helium in your belly, and you're laughing and you have a high voice and you feel full and satisfied and thick. What could be better?
Yeah. Oh, you feel so thick, and you can go out into the woods and scare people like crazy. I mean, you got green eyes, you got a high voice, just pop out of a tree.
Your pee comes out in a thick stream that you have to break off before you can drop it in the toilet. It doesn't, you have to like pull the rest of it out and then drop it down. That's what it does to your body.
And if you're a male, it shrinks your prostate so you pee extra hard. We haven't figured out the technology for females, but we're working on it.
Well, yeah, of course. Not only do you pee extra hard, you yizz extra hard. That's the benefit of thickwid. It makes your yizz frothier and your pee thicker that you have to break it off. You're welcome, society.
If your pee is coming out super quick, it stands to reason that your is going to get out of there like a shot out of a gun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course. Because it knows it's got to push... When you have that like refractory pee, it's pushing all your out. And then the rest of your like, we got a clear path. Look how big his urethra is. Let's sprint through it and get in that egg. Thick.
Oh, we got a lot of show to get to.
Oh yeah. My wife is listening in on our conversation because she said you might want to look into sounding for all that thick pee. And do you know what sounding is, Johnny?
I'm guessing it's like a technique to like see with sound, like dolphins. Echo stuff.
Ooh, that's a much nicer. No, that's not what it is, but that would be nicer. It'd be a nicer world if that's what it is. It's when you stick it's gauging your urethra essentially. You stick bigger and bigger sticks in there to push it out and make it thick and wide for better peeing. I don't know.
It definitely wouldn't be for better peeing because that's not going to do anything. It's all the gears inside you that force the pee out.
Much like Haley Joel Osment in AI, it's all the gears inside you, and then your face melts when you eat spinach.
Yeah. Yeah, your urethra at the end doesn't do anything for pee velocity.
Do you think anyone's ever said urethra Franklin before?
I say it before I go to bed every night.
Oh, well, then you're going to jail, buddy, because this is Apocalypse 2 Revelation. But first, we have to get to everyone's favorite segment. And don't worry, listeners, I'll put time codes in the description so you can skip all the thickwid talk and get straight to the 19-minute mark and listen to and enjoy
the Kevin Sorbo Tweet of the Week.
How is that time code vice gonna help? Never mind.
On re-listen, when they go back and listen to it again.
Oh, it's a re-listen.
Exactly.
Okay, so Kevin Sorbo, I don't know what's happening to you. It's 12:46 in the PM on October 31st, 2021.
A spooky Halloween toilet
day.
treat. Oof, I love it.
And of course, it is for Halloween. Joe should dress up as a pro-America president. Period.
Well, sure, why not?
He's always dressing up as a pro-American president.
Well, Kevin,
with his flag suit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he wears the big American flag top hat. He wears the American flag sleeveless suit. It's a suit jacket, but there's no sleeves on it. And he's showing off his guns, and he's got a bandana tied around his bicep. And
Harley Davidson bandana.
Yeah, of course, a Harley Davidson bandana. He's basically dressed like the guy from Bloodsport. That's how Joe Biden dresses most of the time. The guy with the mullet who becomes Jean-Claude Van Damme's friend, and then the big guy beats him half to death. You know what I'm talking about? Bloodsport.
Yeah, Bloodsport.
Kumite.
I've seen it. Kumite. Chop Chop.
Kumite.
It's mostly about arcade video games. But,
well, I mean, you're not wrong. There is a lot of arcade video games in it. That's true.
It was hot, baby.
Oh my god.
You gotta show it. You gotta get the kids.
Oh, I gotta get that Harley Davidson bandana around your leg. Give it to Frank Dukes.
Oh. Frank Dukes.
It's funny that that's a real guy. Like, it's funny that he made a movie about a lie he invented, and then it became like this wildly popular cult movie. And people are like, he's still like, the Kumite is real, and everyone else is like, no, it's not, Frank. Like, clearly the Kumite isn't a real thing. He's like, I got these trophies, and like, you bought those trophies at trophy shops. Like, don't act like. Also, why would you get a big dumb trophy for winning like a murder fight contest?
Yeah.
That seems like so unnecessary at the end of it. You survived. Here's a 3-tiered trophy. Congratulations. Your name's engraved on it.
But, I mean, underground illegal as the contest is, you still want to, like, a symbol of your reward.
You know what?
That's your accomplishment.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You don't want to leave the Kumite champion, but also empty-handed.
Yeah, no, nothing to look back on.
No, just the memories and the good friends you made along the way. Kumite. Hey, we have to make a quick correction from a few weeks ago. There was we were talking about wrestling. Specifically, we were talking about New World Order, baby. And we couldn't remember. You were talking about like who's the wrestler whose theme song goes "No chance, that's what you got." You know, we couldn't think of who it was. You remember that?
I do remember that because I said it.
A very astute listener, a very handsome listener named Boozy, who has also been on this podcast before, and is also one of the hosts of the Terror Table, a great podcast you all should check out. He emailed us to let us know that is Vince McMahon's theme song. So,
that's why I was so wrecked when I remembered it.
Yeah, the genetic jackhammer himself, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Such
a nice chest.
Oh, yeah. No chest. That's what you got, you know?
That's a pretty groovy theme song for a commissioner.
Pretty good. I mean, his son has a better theme song, I think. Here Comes the Money. That song is you could just play that song and people would get hyped for it and not even knowing it's a wrestling theme song. That's the hallmark of a good wrestler's entrance theme. If you could just play it and people get excited.
Well, I think anybody out there should donate to their local wrestlers GoFundMe account and give what you can.
Oh yeah, every little bit helps. And on this telethon, we're letting you know that every little bit helps, you know?
And don't give them Thickwid.
No, don't give them Thickwid. But also, like, you hear this, you're going to get excited. Hang on.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Exciting.
I wish they were talking about a different thing, like maybe Yiz or Thickwid.
Right, if they were like, here comes the Thickwid. Here we go. Thickwid talks. Thickwid. That'd be a hard song to sing if you're talking about Thickwid.
Yeah, I was very impressed with your Thickwid singing, because that is a hard word to fit right after each other.
Of course. It makes your tongue thick when you say it.
Oh my god, yeah, it does.
Oh my god, yeah. This week, we're talking about Apocalypse 2 Revelation, 1999's Peter and Paul Lalonde classic, the sequel and direct follow-up to Apocalypse: Caught in the Eye of the Storm. Johnny,
Oh my god.
what did you think of Apocalypse 2 Revelation?
Well, I was sitting there with my hands down my pants like a little dweeb, and I was about to watch this movie thinking there's going to be more found footage, the acting was going to be terrible, and the storyline was going to be god-awful and kind of depressing.
All right.
But all of those things got twisted on me, and I enjoyed the piss out of this movie.
Me too, man. I read the description of it on Pureflix's website, and it mentioned that the Antichrist is using VR to take over the world, and I was like, well, I'm gonna give this movie a 10 out of 10 just for that idea alone. I think that's great. The devil using virtual reality is very funny and explored pretty well in this movie, I would say.
Yeah, it's the plot and the situations that the characters find them in are outrageous, but I think make more sense than a lot of movies that we've seen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, don't think too hard about it. Like, the devil's plan is to give every single man, woman, and child in the world a VR headset, which the logistics of that are mind-boggling. Like, fine, good luck, devil, but other than that, his plan is rock solid. Put people in VR. Well, we'll find out what his plan. We don't want to reveal too much yet, but suffice to say,
there's nobody making nukes anymore, right? So you could probably turn that into VR makers real quick.
That's a really good point. Yeah, you can pretty much just repurpose nuke factories into VR headset factories. It's one-to-one. You got to change a couple of bolts and screws on the machines, but other than that, in an afternoon, you're already ready to go.
You're in like Flint, and this is 3 months later, so they had 3 months to figure this crap out.
Yeah, exactly. 3 months ago, millions of people vanished off the face of the earth. Except for a small band of resistors, a divided world was instantly transformed into one of peace, harmony, and love. The day of the Messiah had begun, or so it seemed. Oh.
That's when you know the world is effed up, is when peace hits the land.
When peace hits and people go, we don't trust this peace. And you go, but it's peace.
No.
We did get peace in the Middle East, though. Like, that's pretty good. It's better than nothing.
A lot of people are not dying, so that's cruel.
Yeah,
except for all the people who disappeared.
Well, of course, but those people didn't die. They went up to heaven. Their literal bodies got sucked up into heaven. So there's like a few people that are bodies and everybody else is a ghost up in heaven. And then there's like a few million people that are bodies, but there's trillions of ghosts. So it's like a weird, like there would be a division in heaven between the raptured and the regular dead people that went to heaven. I think there would be strife if that happened.
Yeah, and everybody would be smoking cigarettes and listening to 50s doo-wop and like snapping at each other.
Sounds pretty cool.
Da-na-na, da-na-na, da-na-na.
You said 50s doo-wop, and my brain immediately went to The Longest Time by Billy Joel, which is not from the 50s, and I guess is doo-wop, but, whatever.
Billy Joel always looks like he's in the 50s.
Billy Joel Osment definitely looks like he ate some spinach and made his face melt.
The spinach.
Hey, Billy Joel Armstrong, There's a lot of Billy Joel Joels.
Billy Joel Joels, we love you, New York and New Jersey.
Hey, much like Puff Daddy, we love New York. No, he says I run New York. Well, whatever, fine, good enough.
We want to do our second live show at Madison Square Garden.
That sounds pretty good. First live show, Noah's Ark Amusement Park, probably closed. Ark. Great chanting. So
great chanting.
If you're going to make a movie in the 90s about virtual reality, who else are you going to get to star in it than Mr. Lawnmower Man himself, Jeff Fahey? And what a treat it is to see Jeff Fahey in this. You might remember Jeff Fahey not only as the Lawnmower Man, but more importantly, as the minister who trains Beckman in the movie Beckman. What a delight to see him again.
It's true. It's good to see him young and full of life and not a broken down pastor.
Yeah. It's seeing him in Beckman, I was like, this guy's handsome. Like he's got a good look to him with the beard and the salt and pepper. Like he's got a good look. Why wasn't this guy ever like famous? Like why didn't he ever like kind of like make it in Hollywood? And then I watched some of his other movies, including this one, and went, oh, that's why. No, I get it. This guy, not a good actor, but not even that handsome. Not even that good looking at all. Very just kind of a guy. So good luck to you.
He looks like a handsome, good looking actor from the 80s and 90s that had like a bunch of water poured on him and then dried out with no styling.
Yeah. And you woke up with bedhead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So much wet bedhead,
Oh.
you couldn't even cream.
Oh my God. You're talking about my every morning.
He's just like a bit waxier, a bit greasier, a bit non-compliant with his acting than other characters. I also think he was the best actor I've ever seen, and he pulled it off.
Well, I don't know. We haven't even talked about Willie yet, so I don't know. You could say that Jeff Fahey was the best. This is also, I think, the only of these movies that he's in. So enjoy him while we got him, because we're not getting him again. But that's okay.
But man, wait until you see what are in the next couple of movies.
Oh my God.
It's a cavalcade of cream.
The next movie, you're going to go, Jeff Fahey who? I don't know. And I'll go, what are you, yodeling? What the hell kind of expression is that?
Jeff Fahey spew.
Oh, Jeff Fahey pubes.
Worth it.
What are we, in my Google search? So,
Bing it.
We also get a recast of the Antichrist. Last movie, it was some guy. I don't know who he was, but he was greasy enough, but I didn't think he was very good. This movie and the next movies, he is replaced with the incomparable Nick Mancuso, who, if you're a Frank D'Angelo fan the way I am, you would know him from Real Gangsters, where he plays the head of the mafia family. It is such a pleasure to see Nick Mancuso in this, and I gotta say, he is a great Antichrist in this. Way better than the first guy, but that's my own opinion.
I thought the other guy pulled it off, but this guy has a panache. He's an old guy who licks his lips a lot and smokes a lot of cigars.
When he like hisses and starts chasing that guy, it's great. He's fantastic in this.
I love this movie so much. I might watch it later today.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll join you, and we'll watch it separately,
Join
but
me.
together.
Yeah.
So Jeff Fahey plays an FBI agent whose family was raptured, and that's really messed him up. And I just like, people are so weird in this movie about the rapture. Like they're like millions of people vanished without a trace. Their clothes were literally folded nicely in a pile on the ground. And people are like, whatever. Like, miracles don't exist. It's just a thing that happened. It's like, that would shatter the world if that happened. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical as all get out. But when you see a bunch of people raptured and their clothes neatly folded, I would be a believer right away. Like, how do you not just dive right into God's love?
Yeah, and I guess people do, but it's the wrong direction, right? Like Nick Mancuso shows up and is like, "Hey, I did that," and people go, "You did do that," but like, the Antichrist didn't really do anything in the last movie. Like millions of people vanished, all the nuclear weapons vanished, and then a guy just showed up and was like, I did that, with no evidence or proof that he did it. And people went, yes, you did. It's like, well, maybe do a thing. Like maybe prove it, or like do another thing so that we see you do it. Don't just go, oh, you know how it rained today? I did that. I made it rain today. People go, wow, you made it rain. People are stupid is what I'm saying.
Well, you gotta claim the win, and that's all you needed to do. And he did it first in front of a bunch of cameras.
And he was on Mount Sinai or something like that. He was at an important place eating grapes and being like, I did it. I made the nukes disappear. I guess.
And for all we know, he did.
But then in this movie, they talk about all the other miracles he's performed, but they don't give us any examples of those miracles. They don't show any of those miracles. I guess the miracle of creating enough VR headsets for every man, woman, and child is a miracle in and of itself, but he didn't do that. He signed the checks for it, but that's about it. Anybody could have done that.
He took credit for disappearing the nukes.
Yeah, but he didn't explain how. He just said, I did it. He says he can't do that.
Yeah, because he's God. You gotta blindly follow.
You gotta have faith. If you want to go to heaven, you gotta have faith.
You gotta have nuts.
Jeff Fahey's character, what's his name? I got his name near the end. Oh, his name. He's got a great name. Actually. Thorold Stone, which I looked up. I looked up a lot of dumb names in this movie, and I think we should do this for every movie because the Lalonde brothers are nothing if not consistent. In the last movie, we had some dumb characters that had names of old Toronto Maple Leafs players. In this movie, we get people who are named after towns in Ontario. So Thorold is a town in Ontario. It's near Hamilton. So anytime I heard a name that I was like, well, that's not a real name, I would Google it with Ontario and find out what it was. So that I got a few notes like that in here.
Thorold is such a dumb but almost brilliant name, but still dumb. Like it's on the verge of being something cool.
Thorold Stone.
Stone.
Hey, shaka brah. Haiti rules. Stone is a great last name, but Thorold. Yeah. What is Thorold? Thorold? I can't even think about it.
It's one letter away from being cool.
What letter would you change?
Shorold?
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's cool.
We were right there. We were on the cusp of greatness, and they could have called him Shorold.
One letter away in the alphabet.
That saying that name makes me feel like I'm drinking Thickwid.
That's gonna happen a lot in the next couple of years of our lives.
True enough, yeah. Thorold Stone is a FBI or something, or a federal agent?
ONE.
Is he a part of the ONE?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's a part of the ONE, the One Nation.
Under everyone.
I guess. I don't know what ONE is an acronym. It's spelt with dots in between, but I don't know what it stands for. I don't think it's ever said.
Because he answers the phone and he goes, Stone. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That's a cool answering the phone thing for an FBI agent.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked at his jacket and he was an ONE agent. And I don't know if they must say what the acronym stands for at some point. But that was 2 years.
He goes, oh, it's Stone with Wone. And they go, nah. It is weird that both of those words are the same, but they're said differently. It's weird, yeah.
You can't spell Stone without ONE.
You can't spell Thorold without making your mouth thick. Good luck.
Jorald.
Hey, that's the better one. Jorald. What I loved about Thorold Stone is that he dresses like an incel. And by that, I mean he dresses like a reservoir dog, and I think that's a very cool look for a federal agent.
Yeah, it's very gritty and underground.
Oh, yeah, and he's wearing a black suit, white shirt with a crisp collar done all the way up to the top button, and no tie of any kind. And that's a pretty wild look.
That would be gruel.
His partner is dressed the same way. They're wearing the exact same outfits. It's very bizarre. Like, I love that the Antichrist showed up and was like, first thing I'm changing, ties. I got rid of all your nukes and bullets and ties. Say goodbye to them.
Well, he wanted a uniform, and he got it without a tie.
Yeah, he wanted
the Men in Black.
He wanted a unicorn uniform university, you know? A crazy woman said that to me once, and I don't know what it means. I don't know what a unicorn uniform university is.
University.
I'm willing to bet she didn't either.
I think she knows more than we do. What do we know?
I mean, that's a very good point. We're just haters.
How to be a hater in this society.
And by that, if you're wondering what's a hater in this society, well, it's just Catholics. It's Catholics who want to go to church. That's it.
Who still believe in Jesus Christ, even though the Messiah is the one that saved us all.
Yeah, even though a man just calling himself the Messiah, looking like Nick Mancuso, who, like...
I did that.
You did that?
I did that.
I love that the Antichrist, like Nick Mancuso, I love Nick Mancuso in this, but he also looks like absolute hell. Like he's like wearing a suit that doesn't fit him. He's got terrible posture. He's got like 2 or 3 days growth on his face. It's like, you're the Antichrist, man. Men should want you and women should want to be you, you know? Like you gotta be hot. And he just isn't quite hot enough in this one.
I like the 69-year-old slob version better, to be honest, than the prim and proper, cleaned, and want to bang Lucifer.
I don't know. I mean, who doesn't want to bang the devil, you know?
I don't.
Yeah, you do. We watched that Lil Nas X video, and the whole time you were like, God, I wish that was me. Oh, I wish I was banging the devil right now.
If Lil Nas X was the devil, are you talking about the red guy?
I'm talking about... I'm talking about the red guy in that video. The big red guy.
Yeah, I don't want to have sex with that. Too much muscle.
Yeah, isn't that the appeal? How muscly the devil is? Yeah.
It's out now. People don't want to bang big dudes anymore.
Right, they want little twink boys. Yeah, you're right about that. That's, yeah.
Well, the middle.
No. The twinkier, the better.
Okay. Hairy twinks.
My lover should have less than 5% body fat. And also... be 5'1" and a child.
Yeah, and love sunsets and eating ass.
Oh yeah, of course. And long walks on the beach and eating ass and yeah, all that stuff. It's okay. Jesus said it.
All that jazz.
Jesus said, "Look at all those asses taking shits." Everybody knows that. That's a fact from the Bible, along with other facts.
So Agent Stone's family, his wife and his daughter that were recently with him, get raptured.
Yeah. Well, 3 months ago they got raptured, but yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
To the day.
Yeah. And we've already covered that.
He's
Do you
very
have more to
sad
add to
about
that? He is very sad about it. He's watching home movies. He's so sad.
Yeah. He's crumpled.
I love that his wife was filming a home movie when they got raptured. I think that's very funny. And also a trick they played in the last movie as well, having a cameraman drop the camera mid-filming because he got raptured. Or maybe the wife was the cameraman who got raptured in the last movie. So many different pieces. It's hard to tell.
Did you notice there was no folded clothing, though?
Oh, that's weird. No, I didn't notice that.
Oh,
wow.
I was very disappointed that they didn't keep that through line, because that was the whole thing for me.
Maybe they didn't get raptured then.
Well, they probably got stolen by the devil.
I mean, the devil definitely has them in his virtual reality world, so tough to say.
You can do anything.
It's, yeah. His first crime that he goes to is a school bus that was bombed, and the people investigating are like, "Hey, we tracked down where the detonator signal came from. It's a warehouse full of haters. Your orders are to kill these people on site, and so you got to go kill them." And he's like, "Well, let's not kill them. Let's take them in for questioning." But everyone else on his team is like, I can't wait to murder these Catholics. I'm just frothing at the mouth, chomping at the bit to, like, when they capture these people, several of the guards capture them are like, I wish I could kill you. It's like, whoa, how persecuted.
And there are kids.
Oh, yeah.
There are old ladies. It's not just like a bunch of militant dudes hanging out in a warehouse. This is like a rogue church.
Yeah, it's so funny that, like, the way how they're just like, we're going to go kill these dangerous people. And then it just cuts to, like, a pastor being like, you got to keep the faith. You can't give up. God loves us and blah, blah, blah. And then it cuts to, like, the FBI, like, sneaking in with guns, like, ready to just murder these people, singing gospel.
I'm surprised they weren't all murdered, but then you wouldn't be able to continue the story.
Yeah, you could. Those people serve no purpose after this scene. There's scenes with them, but nothing important happens, like, in any of those scenes. They're just there to fill space.
Yeah, I guess the lady could just drop the disc and then what's his face could find it.
Yeah, I mean, you could keep that scene where she like talks to him and blah blah blah. There's all that interaction, but then just kill him. Like, it really doesn't make. It's just like, why are they still alive? Like, it doesn't. Nothing. They don't do anything other than be tortured for the rest of the movie, and then that's it.
They represent the Catholic spirit, though, and you gotta keep that in the movie.
Yeah, well, of course, you have to keep that in the movie. Also, just to show, like, you think Christians are persecuted now? Oh, wait till the rapture happens. They're going to be so persecuted. People are going to want to kill them.
They're gonna call you haters, which is the most indignant thing.
Oh, yeah. You know what I love about government agents? When they hold their guns sideways like they're gangsters. And there's lots of that in this movie. This movie is very 1999. Like, just waving guns around sideways. Good luck firing a gun like that, doofus. I don't know much about guns, but I do know that, like, I don't think it's proper for, like, you shouldn't shoot a gun sideways. The recoil is hard to control.
I think Mythbusters did a thing about it. They didn't have Mythbusters yet, so they didn't know.
Exactly, yeah. They were trying to curve a bullet around a hunk of meat, played by Jamie Hyman, and he took it.
Shoot around the meat.
Hey, Adam, shoot around my meat.
Around the meat.
Around my meatus. Shoot around it.
Oh, my meatus maximus.
Hey, our orders were to kill these people. Hisses one of the ONE agents.
Yeah, he wants to kill. Kill, never stop. But for the last 3 months, they've been on a killing spree. They've been killing haters at their leisure.
Because the haters have been blowing up orphanages, old folks' homes, and school buses. Spoiler alert, it's not the haters doing it. It's the ONE, which I have in my notes, stands for One Nation Earth.
Oh, that can't be it.
No, that's it. They say that. One Nation Earth.
Which is under, the Messiah's goal of taking over the world and all people's souls.
Exactly. Yeah. And in order to do that, there's a CD-ROM with a computer program on it that they're going to have to decipher to stop the devil from taking over people's souls.
Which is great, because then you get a hacker involved. He's in a wheelchair. Perfect.
But first, we have to reconnect with the through line of all these movies, and that would be Dame Helen Hanna, of wife of Bronson Pearl, wife of the most trusted man in the world, and a news anchor supreme. Helen Hanna shows up. She's with a ragtag group of haters who are just loving God, and get ready to see a lot of those haters in the next movies, because I looked at the cast list, and all the people that survive from that crew are in, like, the rest of the movies. So it's very exciting.
Do you think her job in all of these movies is just to watch VHSs? Because that's basically what she brings to the table.
Like, she is introduced into this movie and then goes, let me show you something that was on this VHS.
Just eye roll right away.
And they go, oh, not this pastor again. Good God.
Come on.
But we do find out. So at the end of the last movie, they were going to hang Bronson Pearl, the hunky husband, the most trusted man in the world.
Yeah.
They were going to hang him on live TV, but then they showed all the footage of Antichrist stuff and them being threatened and all that kind of thing. They showed it to the world, and that was like the happy ending where it's like, we did it. Now everyone knows he's the Antichrist. As we find out in this movie, no, they hung Bronson immediately after that, and nothing happened. Like, they killed him, and then everything's just moved on, and the Antichrist just did his thing. Which is very funny.
Nothing changed.
Nope. Well,
Bronson got hung.
Yeah, the only thing that changed is Bronson's dead now.
Yeah, which is, I think great.
I like to picture that the second the screen cut to black at the end of Apocalypse Caught in the Eye of the Storm is when they kick the chair out from under Bronson. Like, literally the second we cut away from, like, everyone cheering and being like, we did it, they go, hang him alive on TV, I guess. And then he's just killed on TV.
If you're really watching the movie, the credits are proof that he gets hanged.
Yeah.
But this is just shoving it in your face. You know now that the chair was kicked out from under him and he was hanged.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? If you're watching the credits, you know he got hanged? Is there something in the credits that says that he got hanged in the last movie?
Well, the subtext, the lines between the lines.
Oh, the lines between the credits. So when they say best gaffer, you know, best hangman who killed Bronson Pearl.
Oh, that's when his neck cracked. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's like, Helen's crew of haters include a big Samoan guy and a blind woman, and is that it? It's just the three of them at the start?
And some security guard that works for O&E.
That's right. Yeah, right. Forgot about that guy. Because he's pretty much a non-entity in most of this movie.
No, he's going back and forth. You don't really know what he's doing.
Yeah, he goes both ways.
Yeah.
But the blind woman, I will say, could not care less about this stupid pastor tape that Helen wants everyone to watch for the 400th time. She would rather be popping on her Walkman, listening to some 80s Rush, just super synthy music, and just loving it, and just getting taken away from all this Rapture garbage. Honestly, I don't blame her.
Yeah, she's too busy being blind and beautiful.
Exactly, yeah. and she's both, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Hips to nips.
Oh, she's blind and beautiful until she isn't. And you'll understand what we mean by that later.
I love the turn in this at the end of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
The last 30 minutes are so fun.
So, Lawnmower Man and his partner, they bust into the warehouse. They go back to the warehouse where they arrested all the haters initially, and they find that O&E agents are there, and so they end up, they don't know they're O&E agents. They end up shooting these guys and killing them, and then finding out that they're O&E agents who have the detonator for the bomb, and then they start to click that the haters weren't bombing orphanages, O&E was bombing orphanages and blaming it on the haters. Maybe Nick Mancuso is the Antichrist after all.
Yeah, something wasn't adding up. I mean, you have these nice church people in the warehouse where the signal for the bus bomb came from.
Yes.
But it just didn't add up. These people gave him nice discs with good information on it.
Yeah.
So you got to go back and check it out.
And we should also mention Helen's crew and these haters are separate. The scene with Helen takes place in a different location. She's not with these haters that get arrested. She's doing her own thing. Yeah. So they kill these guys. They find this stuff. Oh my God, O&E is doing it. And then I was so excited to see him. The greasy head of the WNN shows up, the demon who took over WNN, and is like, oh, you guys, I need you to give me the disc or else I'm gonna friggin' kill you guys. I'm a demon. And then Lawnmower Man shoots him 9 times in the chest, just opens fire on him. None of the bullets affect him because he's a demon. And he goes, I guess I'll just have to kill you then. And you think he's going to do some demon stuff, but instead he just pulls out a gun and shoots both of them. You go, how demonic of you.
Yeah, no demon crap.
No demon.
But he
walks through a wall.
He does later walk through a wall to escape. But yeah, they open clips, him and his partner. Did you recognize his partner from anything?
No, I didn't. Where would I know him from?
Cause he was eating at me. I knew I had seen this guy's face.
Okay.
And then it occurred to me, I didn't look this up, it popped into my own mind, that he is the prisoner cocktail fruit guy from Half Baked.
Oh man, okay.
He's Nasty Nate.
No, their partner's Nasty Nate? Is that true?
Yeah.
Did you look that up?
Nate, cocktail fruit?
No, is that real?
Yeah, it's very real.
Are you sure?
He's the nastiest of Nate.
He's got a naughty jungle of love. Rick Demis is the actor's name. Oh my God, you're totally right. It is him.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, man. Good job. Really good pull on that. That's incredible that you figured that out. That guy's also in Exit Wounds as a jail guard, a DMX classic.
Cool. Yeah, I couldn't believe my brain pulled that. I'd like to thank the Academy, my dad.
Oh, your dad told you that? Your dad walked by and went, "That's nasty,
He
Nate."
texted-
And you were like, "I don't think you can say that anymore,
Yeah.
Dad."
Close your bathrobe, Dad. Go limp.
Go limp, Dad. I really love that that this guy, he was Nasty Nate before he was this guy. Half Baked came
yeah.
out in 98, this came out in 99. So he was already Nasty Nate at this point. So good for him.
Who's shooting up?
Yeah, he was definitely shooting something. He was shooting ropes all over the place.
Double entendre.
So Nasty Nate dies. Lawnmower Man doesn't. And then we get taken to the ONE jail where all of the people, all the haters had been taken to. And there's this great moment where they shove all these people in the cells. And then we find, we hear a dad being like, "Oh, I brought my son. I found last night I found a dad is turning in his son to the ONE, and he's like, last night I found a Bible in his room, and this morning he was kneeling by his bed." And then his son goes, "Dad, I was praying for you." And he goes, "Take him to jail. We hate this kid. Take him to jail." It's great. Very funny watching him.
Yeah, you gotta take your kids to jail.
Yeah.
Especially if they're praying for you.
Of course. Get him out of here. I found a Bible in his room, and this morning I caught him praying next to his bed. Which, kid, you can pray in your heart. You don't have to do the whole rigmarole of kneeling and clasping your hand. Just pray in your heart and your brain. You don't have to do all the stuff and get caught. Idiot, you're sloppy.
And these are prime jaying off years. Use your time wisely.
Yeah.
God will forgive you.
Of course. All you gotta do is #forgiveness and you're forgiven.
I think it's a perfect setup. It really tells you what this world is all about. It specifically puts the Christians in the haters' camp, and you know the stakes.
Exactly. And the stakes couldn't be higher.
Or grillier.
Delicious. Hey, and if you're Willie, you don't want some damn salad. Don't you guys have any steaks lying around here? That's a great line that's coming up.
Willie has a lot of great lines.
Oh, yeah. But first, we need to see this. There's this annoying moment where stupid Lawnmower Man, who is now a wanted criminal because they thought that the ONE blames him for his partner's death, even though the Demon Man killed him. It's all set up to stop this guy. So he's on the run. He knows he's on the run. He knows he's being pursued, but he just takes a nap in his car, in a parking lot. He just sleeps in a car in full view of everybody for enough time that he falls asleep when it's
Days.
dark and he wakes up and it's bright daylight. So that time has passed. Just an idiot.
Could have been 3 days.
Could have been 3 days. This scene had a moment that was driving me crazy. There's a Time magazine on the passenger seat of his car, and I needed to know who was on the cover of that Time magazine. We do get the answers to it. Turns out it's Nick Mancuso, the Messiah, Macaluso. But I love the idea that the year before it was Bronson Pearl,
Yeah.
world's most trusted man, and now the next year Time magazine is still the Antichrist. We still exist and we love the Antichrist.
I wonder if that's going to show up in the next movies as a through line throughout the series, because 2 movies with 2 Men of the Year showing something about the characters.
I'll tell you this
Weird.
much. That pastor tape is definitely going to be in the next few movies. It's in this movie for no reason, so it's got to be in the other ones.
Oh, is the super deceiver.
Hey, he's a super deceiver. So he goes, Lawnmower Man takes a piece of technology that he got off of the ONE agents. I don't know. It's just a black box. I don't know what it is, but he takes it to... It's what?
I think it's the detonator for the bomb.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. He takes it to Willie's Computer Renewal Incorporated, which is...
Thank gosh.
Oh, finally, we get some action in this movie. There is he enters his warehouse and there's he can hear gunshots. And so he's like, oh, but clearly it's like a video game. You can tell it's not real gunshots because there's 75 of them that go off in 5 minutes. You go, well, someone's not shooting that much. But B, it also sounds like a video game. So he's walking through this warehouse and there's like ominous music and it's getting like the tension's rising. And then the camera just slowly or quickly swipes to the right and you just see a statue of like a First Nations chief. And the music swells into this like really scary stinger where it's like, and it's just a statue. And it's not even like, it doesn't even scare the main character. Like that happens for us, the viewer, but the main character has already walked past the statue. So why does that happen?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know why that would represent something scary or why they do it to the viewer and not the protagonist that's currently in the scene. But it happens.
So bizarre. I don't get it. I don't get what it is. But anyway, it's just a fun little moment. He's there to meet the VR guy, Willie, and Willie is blown away by this piece of technology he gives him. He says, good luck following this. Scrambled frequency modulation, WHO conversion. This is high tech. This is really high tech. Where'd you get this?
I think he's listing radio stations.
Oh, CKCK. That's sick. Where'd you get this?
Wuhan flu.
Oh, huh? Yeah, they meet and gives the VR man the disc that the woman gave him. And finally, he's going to be like, all right, I'm hacking into this. And like all classic hackers, we get treated to a nice Windows screensaver of a jackhammering on a floppy disk that says hacker at work above it. Which, I mean, yeah, that's what hacking looks like.
It's a beautiful representation. It could have been used in the movie Hackers itself.
You know what? It wouldn't shock me at all to find out that exact thing was used in Hackers.
Man, we could maybe contact the FBI, let them know.
Maybe we should. We know some people at PureFlix aren't afraid of just taking footage from NASCAR races and using it for their own purposes. So who knows what else they get away with? Whoa! We don't talk about that show. So what else happens?
Well, the Day of Wonders is coming in
Right.
72 hours.
That's what's on the disc, is a sample program of the Day of Wonders, which Willie is like, oh, this is my program. I made this, and now they have it. And you go, well, what the hell does any of that mean? What do you mean you made this? Like, what is it then? He's like, I don't know. Did you make it?
Well, he's kind of like the Messiah in that he just takes credit for it. You got to take credit first.
Exactly. And I love that, the Lawnmower Man asks him, well, what does the Day of Wonders do? Like, what is this project for? And Willie replies with, oh, nobody knows what the game does. Nobody knows what it does or how it works. And they go, well, A, that's the plot of Existence, and B, what are you talking about? Like, you made it. Wouldn't you know what it does? You made it. You can't just...
And he does bring that up. He's like, what are you talking about? You made this. Please explain yourself.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, it's like using a hot dog in a VCR. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. There is some great hand waving of important questions in this movie. Like, there's another scene later on where a villain is talking to Helen being like, or not a villain, sorry. The Lawnmower Man's talking to Helen, and he's like, when the serpent was tempting Eve in the garden, what was God just doing there? He was just sitting there watching this happen, powerless. What was he doing? What was he doing during that time? And Helen goes, oh no, he wasn't powerless. Far from it. And then they just talk about something else. And what he should have said was, yeah, but that didn't. Okay, so then what was it then? Like, you can't just say far from it. Tell me what it was then, because you just said no. You said no, and you got to explain it, Helen, but you can't.
At least talk about free will or something.
Yeah, exactly. But instead she goes, no, God wasn't powerless at all. Okay, why didn't he stop it then? Anyway, have you seen how blue the sky is today? It's beautiful outside.
Oh, is that sign blue? That's my go-to.
You ever looked at your fingers? Ah.
Like, really looked at your fingers.
Have you ever looked in the mirror for a really long time and realized you were autistic? That's weird, hey?
I crashed into the wall.
Whoa!
Good days, man.
Oh, yeah. Nobody knows what the game does. But I love that Jeff Fahey is in this movie, the titular Lawnmower Man. And whenever people are talking about VR in this movie, he looks exhausted. Like, he looks like, I've been talking about virtual reality since 1993 when the Lawnmower Man came out. And it's all bull S, and none of it is what we say it is. And I'm tired of being this guy.
Yeah, he's been hearing about this for eons. He got a script with all the VR blacked out, and he signed on, and they unblacked it out, and he was screwed.
This is all VR. This whole movie, this whole movie is about VR. Are you kidding me? I hate it.
I mean, I love the script, but I'm VR'd out.
Of course. Then we go into the game. We gotta get into VR. We gotta see what VR is. So Willie boots up a program and is like, the Lawnmower Man is like, so what does VR do? What goes on inside of here? What should I expect? And Willie's like, oh, you know what? Like, I'll put this headset on and I'll show you what I cannot explain. And I went,
yeah,
like, it wouldn't be hard to explain VR to somebody. Like, the name VR, virtual reality, it's enough. That explains most of it. What is it? Well, it's a virtual reality. Oh, okay. I got it.
It does explain itself, but I mean, this was 1999. Nobody knew what was happening.
No, that's true. Because then they put on the goggles, and that's it. No gloves, no haptic feedback or whatever. They put on these goggles. They're instantly transported to a beach. Willie can walk. He's not in a wheelchair anymore. They can move and touch stuff and feel the wind and feel the water, but they're just wearing a headset.
They have all these clothes on.
They're wearing exactly what they're wearing in the real world.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, Willie goes and changes. He's wearing a different outfit. He changes and comes back to then go into VR so he can wear his beach outfit when he's in VR. But, like, if you're in VR, why can't you just wear whatever? Doesn't make any sense. Stupid.
Program whatever.
Yeah. What? Also, how does it? Well, I don't even want to get into all that, but it's so funny that they just have a headset on and it's like, I exist in another reality now.
Yeah.
Take your headset off.
The only thing that makes sense to me is that there's metal spikes in the headset that penetrate your brain.
Exactly.
And then it's like a neural link.
It's a lot like Existence. You gotta have the organic jack in, shove it into your back hole, and then zoop, now you're in Existence. And listeners, by the way, I knew we were watching a movie about VR, so this week I watched Lawnmower Man, Lawnmower Man 2, Beyond Cyberspace, Existence, and the 13th Floor to just get myself ready for talking intimately about virtual reality, and worth it. I have a mind full of knowledge now, and worth every second.
It was a drive-by fruiting.
Exactly. Hey, Pierce Brosnan, star of Lawnmower Man.
Really?
Yeah. He plays the main guy. He doesn't play Lawnmower Man. Jeff Fahey does.
Well, no.
Bro.
But he plays the man behind the man.
Jeff Fahey plays a mentally disabled man in Lawnmower Man. The Lawnmower Man is mentally disabled, and he's also abused by the church. And then he becomes a god. It's such a...
In VR.
I'm shocked that you don't want... I'm calling you out. You don't want to talk about Lawnmower Man on the podcast. You don't want to do a whole episode dedicated to Lawnmower Man when there's so much god stuff in it. Way more than Sister Act 2. So, I don't know. I feel like we should do it.
Nah.
All right, well, listeners, I guess we're not going to do Lawnmower Man. A great movie that would be really fun to talk about because Johnny, I guess, is just shrugging about it and just doesn't want to do it. So, all right, fine.
Rather hit dingers.
I know you would. So, the devil built a virtual world. He built a computer program, I guess. And
the Day of Wonders, it's blank.
The Day of Wonders is blank.
It's a white space.
Exactly, yeah. I guess, yeah, we should also mention they decide to leave and go find Helen and her crew. So they go and meet up with Helen and her crew. Turns out Helen is Willie's sister-in-law. So that's a fun little connection between movies.
Oh, sister-in-law makes a lot of sense because I just kept hearing sister and brother, and I was just, what is this Canadian New York guy with a British American woman. How are they brother and sister? It's crazy.
They're in-laws. They're just
So he's Bronson's brother?
Yeah, I guess so. Or he's like, or she has siblings that are married to this guy. I guess. Maybe he's Bronson.
You know how orbits could have taken off if we all collectively decided to switch or to orbits. Like every time you would use or, you use orbits.
Oh, like and orbits. Right, I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you rather
I'm
have
gonna
this?
eat chicken orbits pizza.
Right. This orbits that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah. The demon man who is like in charge of the World News Network, he's interrogating people in jail, and he's interrogating all the haters in jail. And this part legitimately made me laugh because it was horrific, and I don't know, just something about it made me laugh. He walks, so there's the pastor, his wife, and his daughter all in a jail cell. The demon man walks into the jail cell, shoots the pastor dead, and then turns to the wife and goes, "I'm sorry, did we catch you at a bad time? I need to talk to you about something." And she's like, "You just murdered my husband." Pretty funny.
Dark. Nasty. Nasty dark.
I mean, not as dark as what happens next when they take her like young daughter away and they go, "Well, she's not going to be a kid for much longer." And you're like, "Oh my God, movie. Jesus."
This is about murdering kids.
I mean, at the best, they're gonna murder her. If the best thing could happen to that little girl, she'll be murdered immediately. Let's hope that that's what it is and nothing else.
But she doesn't give up the goose.
Nah, well, we don't know what she does. No, she does. She gives up the goose immediately. She tells them everything about what's going on.
I thought she kept it close to the vest.
Maybe. Well, like my friend Quasimodo used to say, I got a hunch.
I have a hunch.
Uh-huh.
Gotta?
I don't want to bang this Roma.
What does he say that in reference to? I don't know. It's just a great line.
It is, yeah. I don't know what, because Willie says that. He says, like my old pal Quasimodo, Willie's got jokes. He's like, he's the jester. And also, totally not paralyzed in real life. There's a scene where he's like opening a door for somebody and you can just see him moving his legs the whole time. And I'm like, come on, man. Put a blanket over his legs or something.
In the end, there is a purpose to have a non-wheelchair person in a wheelchair and a non-blind person as a blind person.
No, absolutely, for sure. Yeah, she does that great thing that actors do when they're playing a blind person, where they just stare past the person they're talking to and don't move their eyes at all and are just locked in on something, staring at it. And I think that's great. That's good acting.
Well, I mean, can't they hear people that close and where the direction of the sound's coming from, or no? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not blind, but I have to assume that, you have Dolby Atmos in your head. You can tell where sounds are coming from. So if someone's talking to you off to your right, why wouldn't you turn your head to the right to face them at least, instead of just staring into the void?
I pictured you saying all those things, not to our audience, but to one blind person.
To Cindy, the blind woman in this movie.
You have Dolby Atmos. How rude.
And she'll go, this is 1999. I don't know what Dolby is. I don't know what a Dolby Atmos is. I don't know what Dolby is. Our speakers at our movie theaters are still behind the screen. That's how far back in time we are.
Our speakers.
Blind lady and wheelchair guy immediately fall in love. They're flirting instantly. Oh, yeah. First conversation, sparks are flying, yiz is flowing, and it's just, the air is thick with tension and sexual chemistry.
He's saying inappropriate jokes. She's super into it and thinks he's a manly man because of it. And they're going to gush.
Oh, they're totally going to gush. Maybe.
Yeah, we never see him gush. Nah. I assume at the end of the piece, they gush.
Probably, yeah. Well, yeah. So Thorold is like talking to Helen about how he thinks that I love that everyone in the movie is like, Nick Mancuso is the Antichrist. Feel free to cut that and use it however you want, audience. But Lawnmower Man is like, nah, I think he's an alien. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, you're an idiot, Thorold. You're a federal agent? All right. What are you, in the X-Files? This guy's not an alien. He's the Antichrist, stupid.
His mom died of cancer
Oh, God.
when he was young, so
Yeah.
he cannot believe in God. That is his main reason.
Yeah. And like the story he tells is pretty gut-wrenching when he's like, I looked in her face after she died. I looked in her face to find peace. And you know what I saw? Anguish. And that's when I realized there is no God. And Helen's response is, you're wrong. And he's like, I just told you the story of how my mother suffered and died and how horrible it was. And your response to that is, well, you're wrong. God exists. I go, well, how?
A lot of the middle of this movie is trying to convince Thorold that God exists and he should believe in God, and him denying it for several reasons. It happens like 4 or 5 instances of a character trying to convince him to believe in God, and he just says, no, I'm not doing it.
Sometimes he's completely erratic about it. Sometimes he's like, make this glass move, God, prove you exist. And sometimes he's just like, yeah, my mom suffered horribly before she died, and I, as a young child, had to sit there and watch my mother, the woman that I love most in the world, suffer and get rotten and eaten away by cancer. And you have the friggin' balls to be like, well, your experience is wrong and God exists. So how's that? Did that convince you to come to my side? Me dismissing your tragic story and hand waving it away? Was that enough for you?
No.
No, I guess not. So then, and also Thorold has this great line. It's not people who believe in aliens that they're sending to concentration camps. It's people that believe in the Bible.
Does that make it good?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what. I guarantee there are people today that still say stuff like that. I guarantee there is a growing population of the world that says things like that unironically. It's us.
Wow. It's on a bus, for sure. And Thorold, this whole time, has been rounding up haters and putting them in these terrible situations.
Yeah, for 3 months he's been doing that, I guess. Well, no, certainly less than that, because it would have taken time to establish the ONE and hire people and bring them in and do the training
period.
So he's maybe only been on the job for like a month at this point. He might be a brand new agent.
Maybe.
Yeah. Those men he murdered earlier were the first time he's ever killed anybody.
First day, yeah.
Yeah, it's my first day on the job. They want me to go kill a bunch of haters, but I'm not going to follow orders.
They should have started this movie like Training Day.
Oh, getting wet.
Yeah. And Nasty Nate is, the villain of the piece.
That would have been sick. Just stomps on the brakes. You better smoke this before we can go kill these people.
Oh, hitting the brakes.
Hey, but guess what time it is, man? It's time to jack the frick into the Matrix. I'm so excited because we're going to see finally what the Day of Wonders is. Willie is so excited to go into the Antichrist virtual world. He's thrilled about it, but he's managed to hack all the code in Day of Wonders on the disc except for one line of code that he can't hack. So that won't be important.
No. But he's working on it.
Yeah, he's working
It's encrypted. And he's got a program trying to jackhammer it, quite literally. Yeah.
So what is it? When he jacks in, what does he see?
Nothing.
What?
But everything.
He's in a white room that's very bright, and there's a weird electric humming in it. And he's walking around going like, hey, anybody got an Antichrist here? Where are all the wonders?
Yeah, he's definitely jerseying it up. He wants a hoagie sandwich. He commands the room to give him a hoagie sandwich, and nothing happens.
Did you see what kind of jersey he was wearing?
Was it a Nasty Nate jersey?
No, it would just be a hockey jersey from the town of Waterdown, Ontario, that just says Waterdown on it.
Oh, Waterdown. That's actually a cool name for a town.
Pretty
I'd
cool
love
name.
to play for the Waterdowns.
Yeah, but they don't have a team anymore. It
Oh,
looks like their
no.
team got amalgamated into another team or something like that because the Waterdown does not have a hockey team anymore. There's or not a team called Waterdown anymore. There's another organization that runs the hockey in Waterdown now, but in 1999 they were running their own show.
Is it the Waterdown Wets?
I think
now?
so. Yeah, the Waterdown Wet Boys.
Oh, you gotta add boys to everything. Everything I bring up is boys.
And boys. And
All
Orbits.
Thickwood boys.
And Orbits boys.
And Orbits boys. That's a cool sentence.
Welcome, ladies and Orbits boys. Not gentlemen.
That's a good start to a magician.
Thank you. Yeah. Willie comes out of VR and goes, "It's nothing. There's nothing in there. There's no trees. There's no beaches. There's nothing." I went, those are your parameters?
Burn it down.
But, those are your parameters for what VR is? If it doesn't have trees or beaches? Those are things you turn to? I don't know, man. Lawnmower Man was flying through, blobby, a lava lamp he was basically flying through. That's way cooler than a beach.
Yeah, it's way cooler than a beach.
I
don't know. A beach is pretty cool. Everybody wants to go to the beach.
They show when Willie and Lawnmower Man are in VR for the first time on the beach talking to each other, they keep looking behind the camera. So the ocean is behind them. And I kept wondering, they keep looking at stuff behind the camera and going wow. And I was like, well, what else? What are you looking at? What's on the other side of this beach? Because it's not ocean all the way around. There's got to be something on the other side of it. Guess we never know.
It's probably just black or white.
Yeah. Yeah, just a white void.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Hey, what do you think about this? Professionals built the Titanic. Amateurs built the Ark.
Convince me. That might be the most convincing thing I've ever heard from a Christian movie.
Well, it might have convinced you, but that's because you haven't seen Noah yet. And in that movie, it's established that giant rock monsters actually built the Ark, which I guess they were amateurs as well. They weren't carpenters. They were rock monsters. Yeah, they didn't have hard hats with stickers on them or a tool belt. They just used
posable thumbs.
I don't even know if they had those. They certainly had rocks. They had lots of rocks that they could get off, and then
tools.
Rocks.
Tools. Rocks.
Using what you got. Rocks and rock monsters.
Rocks.
We got to watch Noah on this show. Noah is amazing. It's such a ride. I love that movie. It's so much fun. It's what biblical adaptation should be. Lean into how ridiculous they are. Ridiculous them up even more. Put rock monsters in there. Make Russell Crowe Noah for some reason. And just go balls out on it. And they do. It's great.
Rock lobster.
Rock monster.
It works.
Yeah. I don't know. Thorold's mad. He doesn't believe in God.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then
that's about it.
Yeah, the wheelchair guy flirts with the blind lady more, and at one point he's like Jim Carrey in The Mask, where he's wolf whistling and going arooga and slapping his leg and his jaws over, his tongue's on the floor, and it's just very weird. Why are you acting like this, and why is she so turned on by this? It's working.
It seems like a 90s thing, a part of a generation we were not open to. Men just being terrible and women falling in love with them for being terrible.
Oh, it's what every girl grows up dreaming to date. A terrible, terrible man.
These are the Kumite days.
Truly. Oh, if we could go back to the Kumite days, I would love it. Kumite digs, Kumite. Helen has this great line where she goes, "Hey, Thorold, you don't believe in God, but just like your dead daughter is your creation, we're a part of God's creation." I mean,
what a convincing line.
Yeah, Helen, you're doing a urine poor job of convincing Thorold that God exists. You bring up his dead daughter, which is a pretty sore spot for him. You tell him that he's wrong when he's mourning his dead mom. You have no tact. You're the worst, Helen. I don't like you. I love you, actually.
But she's right.
Yeah.
She's on the side of good.
And that's why she's so insufferable, because she's right and she's smug, and you're like, Well, I don't want to join you because I don't want to support that. That's a terrible way to live.
Well, talk more about the folded clothing. That's the biggest proof of it all.
Exactly. And their hearing aids on there and stuff.
And Bronson finding his dad.
Oh, yeah. Digging up his dead dad and then being hung on live TV. Very cool.
Yeah. Or finding his neatly folded clothes.
It's funny that, like, well, I don't know. It's just weird that God takes all these people to heaven, leaves their hearing aids and stuff behind. So, like, I guess you don't need hearing. Like, you're cured of your ailments in heaven, I guess.
Yeah.
When you're raptured. But how is that any different than what the Antichrist is doing? He's just doing it on earth when it would actually matter to people, not up in heaven where everything's gravy.
It's the same gifts as the Messiah, or the Antichrist. So it's very confusing for the human mind to figure it out.
Yeah.
I guess with Antichrist, he has nefarious goals in mind in the end. Like, you get these gifts for a while, and then he takes your soul and you're damned for eternity. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just bizarre. It just doesn't make any sense. So, but we got to get back to more blind wheelchair flirting.
Yep.
She
course.
says, like, "Oh, is this seat saved?" And he goes, "No, but I bet you're all praying for it." It's like, "I like you, Willie." Not really, but clever. Actually, very clever, Willie. I'll give you that.
He's a clever boy.
Yeah. And I love that he's like, she sits down. He immediately is like, "Can I see your weird blind eyes? Can you take your glasses off? I want to see your eyes." And she's like, "I don't really want to do that." Like, I have this note. Wheelchair guy immediately asks her to take her sunglasses off. Then he pressures her into it.
Yeah. It's full on pressure. Back in the 90s, you could pressure a woman to take off her glasses.
Yeah.
Nobody would bat an eye.
No, the president was playing the saxophone. You're definitely going to pressure women into taking off their sunglasses. Let me see those blind eyes. Then she takes off her sunglasses and she just has normal eyes. They're just eyes.
I thought the irises looked a little fadey, but maybe I was just seeing what I wanted to see.
Yeah, I think you were projecting some of your own eyes into it.
Yeah, my own eyes.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? Going to church makes you about as Christian as going to a pet store makes you a cat.
Yeah. It's a hot dog and the VCR thing again.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I don't know. The demon tries to get Thorold to come see him, to give him the disc by pretending to be his like wife and daughter on the radio. And he's like, your daddy's listening and whatever. And Thorold doesn't fall for it. He goes, "Yeah, I'm not going to go see him. I know he's the Antichrist. I know my family's dead. I'm not going to go see him."
Which makes me believe that this world's in a simulation as well. Like, they're saying that our lives are a simulation because the demon's able to do all these tricks. It's just all programming, baby.
True enough. God, more Existence. Is this movie just Existence came out the same year as this movie?
Yeah, I think this was a botched script for Existence. The Peter and the Lalondes just bought a crappy version of that script.
Yeah, they're like, take out the bone gun. We don't need that, but keep
Put
all
in the
VR.
God gun.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I call my genetic jackhammer. So they decide, in order to stop the Day of Wonders, they need to upload a virus into the mainframe of ONE. I guess that'll wipe out.
I really
all of it.
want to look up how many plots were solved with uploading a virus between like 95 and 2000.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it's a lot.
I mean, like Independence Day. That's how they win in that. Upload a virus.
Yeah.
It's so many viruses.
Well, I have in my notes, this is just like Independence Day.
There you go.
Also, I think the net.
Yeah,
Eraser, probably.
I don't know. I saw Eraser at a drive-in in the screen behind me, watching it in a side mirror with no sound. So I couldn't really tell you what happens in Eraser, other than he shoots an alligator and says, "Your luggage." But I found that out afterwards.
Was there a progress bar with a percentage?
Nope. Had no idea. I just had to watch it and go, I hope this mirrored image is getting me somewhere.
Yeah. Well, you could see the progress bar.
The blind guy has a great, or the wheelchair guy has a great, like, I don't think it's meant as a burn, but it is a burn on the blind woman when he goes, if we do this right, if we upload this virus right, then when everybody puts on their goggles on the Day of Wonders, they won't see any more in there than Cindy sees out here. It's like, man, that's kind of tasteless. Like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to, she likes you. You don't need to like drag her through the mud like that. It's kind of unnecessary.
He's trying to show how cool with how down he is with her blindness.
Yeah.
Like he can make jokes about it,
Yeah, they've known each other for 2 days now. It's cool. He can crack jokes about my blindness. And yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's been about 4 hours.
Yeah, exactly. He's already demanded I take my glasses off. He's seen my normal eyes. I've stared right past him because I'm a great actress. And yeah, we're in love.
Yeah, love you, baby.
So the plan is that he's gonna go into the ONE headquarters dressed as a janitor and then upload
It's a heist, baby.
It's a heist. He's Danny Oceaning it. And he's got to put this disk into a computer attached to the mainframe. We later find out that any computer will do, and then that'll make the virus happen. I guess.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Yep.
Pop the disc in.
Yep.
Watch the bar of percentages eke away at a very slow pace.
Oh,
and
I've done the math
done.
on that. I did the math on how long it would take to like upload this virus, and it's outrageous. So we'll get to all that.
I did the math, guys.
Yeah. There is a funny scene where Cindy, the blind woman, is trying to like while Willie is talking about something, she's trying to put a VR headset back on the shelf, but she's having trouble with it and she can't quite do it. And so Willie helps her and she just looks at him and goes, well, still blind.
Yeah.
And that made me laugh. That was pretty funny.
That's cool.
I was like, that's a funny bit. That's good.
It was worth it. Like sometimes you go back to a character or B plot and it's not worth it. This was fully realized.
Oh yeah. Sometimes they set it up and then it pays off. And this time paid off beautifully.
Yeah. Knock it right out of the park.
Did you like that Thorold is essentially just Mr. Magoo in his break-in, where he's like, oh, hey, I'm the guy, and the security goes, okay, go ahead. And then he's standing waiting for the elevator. The elevator doors open. The demonic head of World News Network, who knows who he is standing there talking on the phone. So Thorold just holds up like a newspaper in front of his face, and the demon just walks by him like, well, I guess, hey, that's a wacky newspaper. Also, it's the middle of the night. Why are you reading a newspaper? Don't even worry about it. Bye-bye. And he leaves.
Well, it's like a blueprint sheet. Like, it is huge.
Yeah, it is a blueprint
and
sheet.
You don't trust the sketchy janitor with a huge blueprint thing when you're, like, ahead of an evil organization trying to take over the world. You be curious about those sorts of things.
Yeah, you'd think the first thing he would do is go, what is that a schematic of, and why are you looking at it in the elevator? Why are you reading it now? What do you need the schematic for? You work here.
Or use your demonic powers to read his mind to see what he's looking at and then move on.
Yeah, that's also true. He can read people's minds. He's a demon.
Yeah, Damon.
So Willie finally hacks the final line of code, and he goes in. Thank goodness. And he gets into the Day of Wonders, and what does he see? A super dope Illuminati guillotine. Very cool.
Metal.
Yeah.
Pure metal as frick.
Well, it's like
a guillotine you could be proud of.
It's like a metal crucifix table that has a guillotine attached to it, that at the top of it has like an Illuminati pyramid with an eye in it. This is going to be a long episode because we talk a lot about Thickwit at the start. So, sorry, we're an hour 32 already. Sorry, listeners.
And we got to urinate too, okay?
Yeah, of course. So, blind guy Willie, or wheelchair Willie goes up, and like it's been established earlier in the movie that you can't get hurt in VR. He cuts himself with like a shell on the beach. Yeah, it's like a conch or something like that, and he's fine in the real world. Now he goes into the Day of Wonders and he touches the guillotine and it cuts his finger, and he comes out of the virtual reality.
But he feels pain.
His finger's cut in real life now. Oh my god.
Yeah. And
then he cuts his finger. He comes back. Cindy is like, "Oh my god, are you okay? What's happening?" And he goes, "Look at my finger." Well, she's blind, so she can't. Yeah. So don't do that to her.
Don't you realize what this means?
Yeah. So Willie's loving it.
Well, VR can affect real life now, so as a tech head himself, he loves it.
Oh, of course. And he's like, there's nothing in that shouldn't happen. There's nothing in there but images. But earlier when they were in VR, they could like feel the wind and touch the sand and stuff. And it's like, well, so clearly there's more to it than just images. If you can exist on a beach somewhere, I don't know. It seems like there's a lot to it.
There's very much a lot to it.
Yeah. What did you think of the cool shot of the demon doing a ritual in front of a burning cross? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that tracked. It was upside down cross, if I'm correct.
Was it? It might have been.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it was a satanic cross.
I think I just thought that it had a really tall top part. I think that's why I looked at it. No, they went all out on the top part. Okay, yeah.
That's nice. That's a big top part.
They're in like a cool roofless stone building doing like a satanic ritual to start the day of wonders, I guess. But like the Antichrist isn't involved in any of this stuff. Like this is the World News Network guy doing this. What's the Antichrist doing during all this time? Tinkering with VR?
He's still in those nuclear plants trying to perfect the conversion to VR.
Maybe. Yeah, he's tightening the screws and he's changing the belts and he's going, come on, pump out those VR machines.
Efficiency, numbers, crunching, stats, that sort of thing.
That's what the Antichrist is all about.
Yeah. Well, it really is the demon's movie. Like he is throughout this movie the true villain. You don't really see Macaluso that much until right about now.
Yeah, until the Day of Wonders begins. And now we're finally here. It's the Day of Wonders. Cindy immediately puts on a headset. Like it's like the Day of Wonders. Everyone's like, don't put on the headsets. It's 12 midnight and 30 seconds. And she's like, I'm putting on that headset, I think. Puts it on.
This is where all her work pays off. All sitting with these soy boys watching VHSs.
Oh, garbage, right?
Yeah.
So she puts on the VR headset, and the first thing that happens is she gains I don't know if regains or gains the ability to see. And so her eyes work again, or maybe they work for the first time. It's not clear if she went blind or if she always was blind, but her eyes can see again, and she is given that gift back in a bright white room. The worst place you could get your vision back. Like you would be like, oh, it could be horrible to like not be able to see. And then the first thing you see is just the most blinding white light imaginable. It'd be horrible.
Your brain would melt.
Yeah, for sure it would. But instead, you got to meet the Antichrist instead.
Yeah, and she's slobbering up whatever he's putting down. She loves the Antichrist.
Well, but she's very scared of him at first. She's like, your voice, you're the Messiah, she says, very terrified. But it's like, well, you knew that this was the Antichrist's VR headset, and you put it on anyway. So you can't be now scared that the Antichrist is there. It's the Day of Wonders. It's the whole thing.
It is the first thing that she's ever seen, or maybe since she went blind seen.
Good point. Yeah, Nick Mancuso. Maybe not the best first person to see, but not the worst. I mean, it's no Bronson Pearl. That would have been nice, but he's dead.
She doesn't know if a suit's supposed to fit like that, but she's pretty sure it isn't.
No, it's definitely not. No way. And then he shows her all these wonders, and she's going, wow, look at all the wonders, but we just see a white room. We don't see the wonders. But then he's like, if you want to keep your vision, you need to renounce God. And I don't know, to me, it's like, this is kind of like childish nonsense. Like this whole idea of like, promise me, like promises are for children. They don't mean anything. Renounce God. Well, that doesn't really mean anything. Sure, I renounce God. Give me my vision back. Then you leave and go, just kidding, God. I didn't renounce you. I love you, God. You're the best. It just, what is it? Like, make her sign something in her blood or something. But just to be like, I pinky swear that I love the devil is like, well, that's not binding.
Well, anything can be written, but words they lock you in.
Yeah.
I feel like they just wanted to bring a little culty ambiance to the piece.
Well, I think that is the interpretation of Revelations, though, is that you have to renounce God in order to accept the devil. But it's like, life is a spectrum, and I'm the king of France. And see how easy it is to just say things? You can just say things. They don't mean anything.
I've always thought you were the king of France.
Thank you.
I swear to God, I thought you were the king of France.
Look, here's your crown, king. You dropped your crown. Make sure you put it back on. Don't forget who you
Oh,
are.
yeah.
All right? You're king, and I'm a king.
Button it up.
That's right. We're lions. We don't listen to the opinions of sheep, you know?
I'm a snake.
I'm an alpha.
Alpha snake.
That's right. So Cindy accepts him. She goes, yeah, sure, devil. Give me my eyes back and brand your 666 on my hand. All right, cool. Yeah. So he does that, and she goes, I'll be able to hide this in the real world. You know, the giant 666 on the back of my hand? Yeah, no problem. My dominant hand?
Encapsulating her whole palm. Like, it is a large print.
Yeah.
And she doesn't really get hurt from it. Branding, I'm assuming, would hurt a lot.
You would assume correctly. I haven't had it done to me, but I've certainly branded lots of people, of course. I run a sex
We've
cult.
seen it on the Jackass movie.
Please, the Jack Butt movie. But yeah, for sure, we have seen that.
I think in that reference, it's specifically to Jackal, right?
Yeah, a jackhole. So Willie is there, and he's like, hey, Cindy comes out of VR, Willie's there, and she goes, hey, Willie, can I
check this out?
Well, I love that she's like, Willie, I have something really important to ask you, and he goes, yeah, not now. I have to type, and she goes, no, it's really important. I need to tell you it right now, and he's like, can it wait like 25 minutes? I gotta type, and she goes, just like give me 1 second to tell you this thing, and he goes, fine. And she goes, that's the ugliest shirt I've ever seen. And he's like, you can see.
He's hurt.
Yeah, he's shook.
But he's very happy.
His first response is, how dare you? Wait a minute. Yeah. Oh, my wife.
This is my sister's shirt.
My sister-in-law's shirt, please. This is Bronson Pearl's shirt, the most trusted shirt in the world. So
that should be Times Man of the Year next movie is Bronson's shirt.
Or just a shirt. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be Bronson's. Maybe it's Willie's
Howie
shirt.
Mandel.
Oh, maybe it's that guy too. Yeah. I'll have to bleep his name so we don't spoil who's in the next movie, but
yeah, definitely.
Well, I'll write that down. 141, yeah. All right.
Honestly, I didn't connect it to the movies, but it's been in my mind's eye, you know.
That's fair. I get it. Yeah. Well, anyway, Willie goes in, he gets unparalyzed, accepts the mark of the beast. They try to trick Helen into telling them where the rest of the haters are. She doesn't fall for it. And so they just start blasting. Willie and Cindy just pop out. They're standing, they're seeing, they're shooting, they're having a great time.
Well, he tries to kill his sister-in-law.
Yeah.
But he hits the Samoan instead.
Totally pops the Samoan. Cindy says, like, I've been hanging with you Bible thumpers for 3 months now, and I haven't seen a single miracle. It's like, well, get in line, lady. Like, tell you what, literally none of them have ever seen a miracle ever in the history of mankind. So, no. I'm sorry the 3 months wasn't fulfilling enough for you, but come on, get on their level, scrub.
She's hot enough to let it slide off her back. She can move on to the next thing as easy as water.
That's true. And Willie does say to Helen, you know what? You know something, Helen? I should have shot you a long time ago. What does that mean, bro?
Great line. I got to use that in a movie.
And then shoot your dog. Kill your dog. So,
he shoots his dog, little Elvis.
Brutal. I hated it. That was the worst part of the movie for me. I don't care about, let people get ripped limb from limb. I don't care about that. Shoot a dog. Now we got problems. I'm a bleeding heart, liberal soy boy cuck.
I agree with you, but that's what brought me into the movie, you know?
Yeah.
They're bold enough to show how dark he has become because he's chosen to walk.
For sure. To walk. Oh, yeah. Right, I got you.
Because he can walk now.
He's
a walk now.
Yeah. So then Willie tricks Thorold. He like buzzes him on the radio and is like, hey man, you should put those VR headsets on. Once you get to the ONE headquarters, put on the devil's headset. And Thorold goes, all right, yeah, I'm an idiot. I'll just do that, no problem. I'll put on the headset and tinker around for a couple minutes.
Check it out.
Like, he literally says the program needs to be running in order for the virus to work. So just put on the VR goggles and play around for a few minutes and then pop out and it'll work. It's like, well, that sounds like a trick if ever I heard one, but okay, fine.
Yeah, cool.
Puts on the headset. The devil's there, of course he is, but also his family is there. And his daughter goes, Daddy, we miss you. Don't abandon us this time. It's like, ugh, devil, come on.
Yeah, but then, okay, so the trick is to use his family to get him to renounce Jesus and get the stamp.
Yeah.
But then he tells them it's a simulation of his family.
Yeah.
He tells them that it's just inside him and it's not the real mother and daughter. Like, you just blew your whole thing.
For sure. And he goes, well, you could live in this virtual world with them if you take my mark. And he goes, yeah, nah, I'm not going to do that. Cut my head off instead. He goes, okay. So then, like,
Okay.
so he, like, rejects Mancuso, the Antichrist. And then, like, even though this is VR, guards appear, like armed guards show up and grab.
Yeah, armed
Thorold.
guards.
They
They were loading this whole time.
Oh, yeah, they were in the queue waiting to be let into the room. And they beat the shit out of Thorold and then drag him over to the guillotine and strap him in there. But, like, why don't they just snap your fingers and he's in the guillotine then? It seems pointless.
Yeah.
Are those...
This is more dramatic.
But are those guards virtual, or are they real people in this virtual world?
I have to think that these guys are real guys loading into the queue.
It gotta be, right?
That ruins the whole movie for me if they're just some program.
Well, yeah, for sure. I don't want Agent Smith showing up in this.
Yeah.
I want real people to kill people virtually.
Yeah. Beautiful guillotine, though. Sleek lines.
Oh.
Real eyed up.
Oh, yeah. And the devil, they strap Thorold in, and the devil pulls that handle, and the friggin' thing comes down. But a hair before it kills him, which I guess all this is happening in real time, which again, digital world, time means nothing, but fine. Before it
Very real time.
the second before it cuts his head off, Helen and the guard show up and shoot the computer. How they got into the building? Because the guard pretended to capture Helen and got in the building that way. That makes sense. They saved Thorold, essentially. So
In the nick of time.
Yep.
He doesn't get chopped off.
Yep.
He gets saved.
But in order to do so, they had to shoot the computer that he had to upload the virus into. So then, in a room full of computers, he goes, we need to find another computer that's connected to the mainframe. And after just standing and looking around for a couple seconds, Helen just goes, what about that computer? And he goes, yeah, good enough. And they just do it on a different computer.
It's very successful in uploading. You did the math.
I did the math. I mean, it is successful, but they're lucky that everyone is incompetent. Here's the thing. I figured it out. It literally takes 5 seconds between each percentage of virus loaded. So from 1% to 2% is 5 seconds. Extrapolate that to 100%, and you get 8.5 minutes to upload the virus off this CD-ROM onto the machine. Way more than enough time to stop it, but it doesn't work out.
Well, it does kind of work out, but somebody has different plans.
Right. The Demon World News Network guy and Willie and Cindy and other guards show up and capture Thorold and Helen and the guard, and then take them and throw them into like a furnace with
like a kiln.
Like a kiln with the survivors from the start of the movie, the haters from the start of the movie. And at that point, Thorold must have just been so bummed because he was going to have a quick, painless decapitation death. He gave his life up to God. He said, God, I didn't honor you in life. Let me honor you in death. I love you, God. Let me kiss you on the lips. I love you so much. And by saving him, they've damned him to a much more painful, horrible death of being burned alive. I'd be pissed if I was Thorold.
Well, he just accepted God into his life, so he's gonna go to his family when he gets his head chopped off.
Yep, for sure.
Quick, easy death.
Yep.
Right with your family, and they rip him from it to put him into a chemical and biological waste disposal kiln that has gotta hurt.
Oh, I can't imagine a worse. No, I can imagine worse deaths, but
Yeah.
being burned alive has got to be right up there with one of the worst, right? So, just very funny that they screw him like that.
And you really kind of think that somebody's gonna save them from the burning, like some kind of incident is gonna occur that like saves them from the oven getting turned on, but
No, the guy just turns the oven on. The demon, the World News Network guy, just turns it on, and there's flames, just tons of flames. Yeah. But they're singing Amazing Grace, and they don't stop singing Amazing Grace, and it's making him madder and madder, so he keeps turning up how hot it is in there, and they're still singing Amazing Grace. How does that happen? Like, why does God... Like, God obviously protects them in that moment. It's not shown or anything, but, like, he stops them from dying, but why? Like, they're all on his side. Why wouldn't he just let them die and then take them up to heaven?
I think they have more work to do on Earth.
But
I mean,
why? Like,
Lawnmower Man isn't in the next movie, so maybe they tried to get him but couldn't.
I don't know, man. He's at the end of this movie, though, so, like,
yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, why does God care that these people keep on? Doesn't he want all these people up in heaven who love him? Why is he like, nah, stay on earth and suffer more? Just, God sucks in these movies. He really sucks. Great executive producer.
And this is interspersed with Willie and Carrie finding the computer.
Oh, yeah.
And shooting it up while the virus is uploading.
Yep.
And even though they pour a bunch of bullets into this computer, it continues to upload.
Yeah, they take
God saves the day again.
They take the disc out and break it, and it still is uploading. Well, where's it coming from? Fine, all right.
The monitor is completely ripped out of the wall and thrown on the ground, and it continues to upload.
Yeah.
All these things shouldn't be possible, but this is God's wrath.
Yeah, but also, like, isn't all this supposed to happen? Like, isn't the devil supposed to do all this stuff? So, like, the fact that they're stopping it is like, well, isn't this going against the very scripture you claim to love? It just doesn't make any sense.
It makes a lot of sense. I loved it.
So the demon, though, gets his just desserts because he's mad at them for not dying. So then he opens the kiln door when it's at maximum heat, and it just burns the whole building down. Like, it just...
Including him, the demon.
I guess fire kills the demon. I guess. We'll see. Maybe he'll show up in the next movie. Who knows?
I hope so, because I love him.
I hope he's, like, all rotten and burned in the next movie, and he's just like, can you believe this crap? I hate it.
I've been in makeup for 6 hours.
And then the movie ends right back where we started in the first movie by showing us the news. Thank God. I've missed the news. I'm so glad the news is back.
Give me the news.
Give me the news. Yeah. The Day of Wonders.
So what do you think of this film?
First of all, the virus works. The Day of Wonders is postponed.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, who cares? Whatever. They saved the day, even though all this is supposed to happen and the devil's supposed to win. Blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Doesn't matter.
It'll probably have no effect on the start of the next movie, so don't worry.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah. I love this movie. I mean, they're going to kill Thorold off screen between movies for sure. He's going to get killed. They're going to mention that he was he was drawn and quartered between semi-trucks or something. Some horrible fate will befall him because he's not in any of the other movies.
Yeah.
But I loved it. 2 thumbs way up.
I feel like you loved it within the context of this podcast. I enjoyed this movie as just a movie. I thought it was thrilling. I thought the characters had strong reasons for their actions, which is a very big gap in a lot of other movies that we've watched on this podcast.
True.
Like, people just do things and you're like, what is going on? But there are reasons, and I would definitely choose to be the devil's concubine if he allowed me to walk again.
Amen to that, brother. I'm with you. I would love that. If Nick Mancuso gave me the ability to walk, I'd become his concubine immediately.
Heck yeah. So I give this 10 stars. I think this is Oscar bait, and I truly think it's going to win an Oscar someday.
I can't wait for the next one, and then the next one after that, and then the next one after that. And
they should have a retroactive Oscars one year.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Well, anyway, we don't have time to get into that. We talked a lot about
No, we
Thickwid.
truly don't.
That ate up all the time we could have to talk about retroactive Oscars. So I'm sorry, but we need to wrap this thing up.
We sure do.
Until next week, I love you.
I love you.
We love you.
VR, 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 VR.
Keep going. This isn't loading.
VR, 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 VR. I'm going pee right now.
It's Pia.
Right. Well, not right now.
Yeah, his finger's wet. He doesn't know why.
Now, watching all the movies that I miss, I'm talking about God. I like you boom boom down. It's Pia boys. You know, say Shakaroni Obama. And John to toilets now. Watching all the movies that I miss, I'm talking about God. I like you boom boom down.
I gotta say, I kind of nailed the snow part in that song. I just want to say that. I'm very proud of myself for how that one turned out.